Happy Martin Luther King Day, Tesla family. It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, we're going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and why I'm very bullish for the future of this company. I'm also going to be answering the question, when do I think Tesla is going to break past $2,500 a share? I'm also going to talk about what's going on with the Fed as we have some big pieces of news coming out that could definitely affect the market. I'm also going to talk about next week as we have a lot of earnings reports coming out, especially Tesla's. I'm going to talk about what could end up coming out that could definitely affect Tesla's share price and where I see that going. I also have some Elon Musk tweets that I'm going to be talking about that could definitely affect Tesla and the future of the company. They're very, very awesome. Now, before I talk about what my price prediction is for Tesla, when I think it's going to break $2,500, and when I think this thing is going to go to the moon, I do have to mention some very important things first. First off, I'm not a financial planner, guys. This is all for educational purposes only. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you will not only qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each with up to $3,500, but you're also going to qualify for free real-time level 2 data for US stocks with $0 in trading commissions. So please check that out if you guys want. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So guys, before I go into more detail about Tesla, we do have to talk about the Fed and how the S&P and other things like that can affect the market and some very important things. So this is the S&P right now, guys. As you guys can see, back in October, this thing dropped pretty dramatically down to about $426. And after that, we ran up. We dropped a little bit more once again because of things going on with the Fed. But so far, we've been seeing higher lows kind of coming out, and it's kind of still continuing this upward trend. So we're not necessarily in a crash right now. Instead, we're actually still running to the upside, which is looking pretty good for the upcoming week because we have some very, very important things to be talking about, guys. We have some very cool things that we have to be looking at as earnings reports are coming out. So I'm going to pull up every single one of the technical indicators first. And as you guys can see, we are trading within this range right here, but kind of between these short-term time frame exponential moving averages, which is a pretty good sign. So the S&P is looking pretty good, but I do want to talk about this right here. There are pieces of news coming out as investor Bill Ackman says that the Federal Reserve needs a shock and awe rate hike in order to restore its credibility with markets. So even though I'm very bullish for next week in the future of the market and Tesla, I do have to talk about the Federal Reserve and how they can actually affect the market. And I am going to be honest with you, he does have a very good point in my opinion. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that he's right and that the Fed is going to quote unquote crash the market, but at the end of the day, we're going to see some very dramatic rate hikes coming up quite soon, and they could definitely affect the market as a whole. But the thing about that claim, guys, is I want to let you guys know that this could cause some sideways action for companies like Tesla because of the fact that in the upcoming months, we could see inflation start to rise. And as inflation rises, the federal funds rates go up, causing the earnings reports not be as enticing to institutional investors. So what this means is Tesla's numbers may not look as great if, the federal funds rate is going up. They may not look as valuable, so which could cause a little bit of sideways action for the upcoming months. But at the end of the day, guys, that's many months away, right? The first hike is probably not going to come until March. So right now, the market is still looking pretty good. And I just want to address that real quick before I talk about what's coming up. So in the upcoming weeks, guys, look at this right here. I have Yahoo Finance right here, and we see all these earnings reports coming out. January 24th, 61 earnings reports. The 25th, 87, 26, 144. So there are hundreds and hundreds of earnings reports coming out just for next week. It's going to be absolutely huge. There are also quite a bit coming out for this week, but it's not as significant as next week. I'm very excited for that, especially from a lot of big banks and energy sector companies, and maybe even lots of tech stocks too. It's going to be phenomenal. So for Tesla right here, their earnings day is going to be the 26th of January 2022, according to their website as of right now. Now, this could change maybe next week. I don't know 100% if this is confirmed, but this is what it's showing right now, and this is what I expect it to be. Now, what does this mean for Tesla going forward? If Elon Musk announces something huge, we could easily have a very big move to the upside. Now, we have been trading a little bit sideways, but one thing that's interesting is just like the S&P, our low was like at $880 in that $880 range a couple of weeks ago. Then we run up to about $1,200. Then the low, when we dip again, goes to $980. Then we ran up, and then we dipped again last week, and our low never went below, like, I believe 1,000, right? We ended up trading above 1,000 for the majority of the week, which is a pretty good sign, which means that we're kind of seeing higher lows and we're on this upward trajectory. This is also indicated by the MACD. As you guys can see, there's a green histogram right here. We did see a little bit of sideways action towards the end of the week because of inflationary data and the CPI data, but it's looking pretty good for the earnings report for the next week. So what does this mean going forward? What does this mean for tomorrow? Right now, we don't see anything that's too bad for the market, at least as of right now, that's going to cause it to crash. And if anything, it's looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. 49.36 is the RSI, which is pretty good amount of strength. And what I think is going to play out is we're going to see a little bit more moves to the upside than the downside. Now, going forward, guys, we do have some very interesting things that just came out. First off, I want to talk about this right here. Basically, a lot of investors out there are basically giving higher price targets for Tesla. This isn't according to Investopedia. It states that the electric car maker Tesla stock reversed course and rose yesterday after a key analyst revised their price targets. So that was for Friday. Basically, a very important investor from Morgan Stanley stated that they think Tesla is going to go to 1,300. Before they were saying 1,200, now they're saying 1,300. That's a very good piece of news in my opinion. Other analysts from Goldman Sachs are saying like 1,200 for the next couple of weeks, which is pretty good too. So there are analysts saying that we're going to see this thing in the $1,200 to $1,300 range very, very soon. It does depend on the earnings report, which is why I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail before I answer the question, are we going to 2,500 relatively soon? So let's look at this real quick. Basically, we have the earnings report coming out, and Elon Musk did talk about how there's going to be a new product roadmap. A product roadmap coming out very soon for 2022. We're also going to see a lot of news involving the Giga Texas, the Giga Berlin, even more updates from the Giga Shanghai, which I think are going to be increasing their production capability, which is going to be very awesome for the future. Now, there could be a $188 million expansion project coming out too. That's going to be very awesome for the Gigafactory as well. Once again, very bullish news. Now, we also want to see what the trajectory is for their production, because right now they produced about 930,000 cars in 2021. We're looking for 2 million for 2022, or at least something very close to that is what I think it's going to be. And that's going to be very bullish news in my opinion. So once again, the future looks very, very bright. I'm super, super bullish, as you guys know. Now, the question is, how high are we going to go? When are we going to break past $2,500 a share? When are we going to go to the absolute moon? This is my answer, guys. So looking at this over the long term, we can see that this thing hits very bullish cycles during many time frames. Now, there are many analysts out there, according to Seeking Alpha, saying that Tesla will break $2,500 by 2025. Now, what is my take on this? I agree and disagree simultaneously. Kathy Wood said $3,000 by 2025, and I think that's closer to being correct. However, guys, that's very dependent on what's happening during this market correction and what the Fed is doing. So right now, what I think is that Tesla could easily break $2,500 by 2024. However, that is dependent on what happens to Tesla during the market correction. That is probably going to play out in, I would say, mid to late 2022 up until 2023. So what could end up playing out is the correction could cause Tesla to trade a little bit sideways for just a little bit of time, thus delaying the time it takes to actually get there, which is why I think saying this is basically the bare minimum and a more realistic target. But I think it could easily break past $2,500 by that year. Now, I think Kathy Wood is closer to being right, where she said $3,000 by 2025, and I think that's where it's going to go. So I'm going to predict this. I think that the thing about Tesla is I'm very bullish. I'm very excited. I think this thing is going to break past $2,400 by the year 2024, sometime during the middle to end. And sometime during the year 2025, we could hit 3,000. That's what I think is going to play out. And we may even go well above that, depending on what the news is, depending on catalyst and hype and different factors like that. Now, take that with a grain of salt, guys. I can't guarantee I'm going to be correct. But one thing I do know and one thing we can guarantee is that we're very, very bullish for the future of this company, and we're nowhere near the end of its growth. We're still in a very good growth phase, and the growth phase may even continue for the next decade to come. So with that said and done, guys, I'm going to move on to the Elon Musk tweets that are coming out that make me very excited. So Elon Musk stated this right here on his Twitter. He responded to Tesla Silicon Valley Club. Basically, Tesla has a valuation of $1.1 trillion. If you compare that to GM, Ford, Toyota, BMW, and all these different companies, they're worth $955 billion combined. Now, the thing is, I'm a fan of GM. I'm a fan of Ford and Toyota. I love those companies, guys. I love Toyota Supras. I still like Toyota. I'm not trying to attack them, but I'm just putting it out there that Tesla has a very good valuation. It's a very bullish company, and it's not just a car company. Unlike a lot of these, it's not just a car company. It's an EV company, it's a robotics company, it's a software company. Elon Musk even said that it's pretty wild news. So that's very, very awesome that he put this on his Twitter. And I definitely agree with that claim. Now, looking at this right here, someone said that it's so weird how the most vocal critics of FSD always have a huge financial interest in a competing solution at Elon Musk. Elon Musk stated that he agrees with that. That's indeed true. Now, this person ended up responding and asking, "Hey, Elon, when's Texas opening? Can you send me 10.9?" Elon Musk stated that 10.9 going out later this week, but he did not respond to when is the Giga Texas opening. And why is that? Because I think he's going to announce this during the earnings report and he wants to keep it a surprise. That's what I think his intent is, and that's why I'm very bullish. Now, I can't guarantee that's true, but that it seems very probable because the Tesla Gigafactory is about to reopen, guys. It's about to open. It's going to be very, very awesome. I can't wait for it, and I think he's waiting for the earnings report to really, really announce some big things. Now, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Is Elon Musk stated this quite recently. He stated that we will start rolling out full self-driving beta in Canada cautiously in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Once again, a very bullish piece of news coming out as they're improving their customer service. They're helping more and more people kind of like gain awareness of their car and technologies. And this is going to be very good for the future of humanity and the future of travel. So with that out of the way, guys, going into next week, I'm sorry, going into tomorrow and for this week, I would be a little bit more bullish than bearish. I think it's more probable we're going to see more green, and we should be approaching the $1,100 range relatively soon. I'm very excited, guys. As you guys can see, we're hitting those like higher lows, and we're looking pretty good. We're on this upper trend. It's looking pretty good. I can't wait for what's going to come out. I think the really big thing that everyone's waiting for is the earnings report. It's coming out within a week and a half from now. It's going to be very, very awesome. I can't wait. With that said and done, guys, thank you for listening. Please have a very, very awesome Martin Luther King Day. Please remember your history and never ever quit on your dreams. We are going to defy the odds, guys. Never ever quit. And I'll see you in the next one. Tesla to the moon and peace out.